Okay guys, there are 7 cards in Is Your Ex Coming Back spread. As you know, this is really meant for the people who actually want their exes to come back, or maybe even wondering what is going on in their head, because they sometimes use it for relationships, especially relationships that are on and off, and that way we find out. So these cards are called significators, meaning I picked them, and I picked them not to read them, but sort of like to read a category. Just think of them as a title on a beginning of the chapter. So altogether, they're sort of giving me the story, that entire book. I picked the first card, the Magician. In this category, not to go into details, if you order the spread, I'm going to explain in way more details what basically I meant behind this. But in short is, if this relationship was ever a go, are you swimming like up the stream and trying to make something live that really shouldn't be? Temperance card is here reversed for a reason, because upright temperance means, hey, I can glue anything, I can work on anything. So obviously this is talking about ungluing, and this is going to tell me what exactly you really need to repair in this relationship if this is ever to go. And this is if this category is really telling me, you know, green light. Then I have a Queen of Wands and Knight of Wands as significators. It could be either or. One can be you, one can be a partner that you are inquiring about. And this is the energy and the flow of information and the flow of thoughts in between the two. So now I see the Judgment, and this is like the biggie, because yeah, you know, that's that extra information. Okay, what was meant to be learned in this relationship? What lessons you have to absorb, right? Even if this is not meant to be, like, there are still lessons to do it, right? You know what they say, we meet somebody for a reason, for a season, or for a lifetime. And then lastly, we have 4 of Wands, and 4 of Wands is really talking about where is this heading. So this is a short and sweet explanation, and if you basically watch this first, now it is a good time to go back and see the entire reading. Love you. Hello Capricorn, and welcome to your monthly Is Your Ex Coming Back. So this is covering about month and a half. So let's see what is in the store for you. And where the heck did my orange little pen go? I just had it here seconds ago. Oh, there it is. Okay, so let's start. I'm actually seeing quite a bit of interesting things over here, including sort of like, you know, the clarity, like where this kind of brain fog and all this kind of intricacies, he did, she did, blah, like why not this, is kind of like reaching, clearing out. I will tell you one thing, that you rated really highly in this person's eyes, almost like as if you have been perfect wife, perfect girlfriend, perfect mother, kind of like you have been placed on a pedestal. But also they see that it was you who somehow didn't want to build something. It was you who kind of like held back, let's say, the progress or something. On the other hand, and I don't know if you were dealing with an air sign or maybe earth sign, it's possibly also, I mean, the tower can also significate Scorpio, this kind of like Neptune energy, right? But they might kind of like feel completely in the la la land about that, because, you know, like what they have in contractual law, the meeting of the minds. Both people have to understand, like, yeah, I'm buying this car for this much money, and then you go in front of the judge, it's like, well, you know, I thought, you know, this is just a trial, and the other person says, no, this is what it was. So when the contract is not meeting of the minds, it kind of doesn't exist. It's not valid. And that kind of like of something of that sort, I think, is coming to the surface to realize, wait a minute, I was expecting this, but I never mentioned that, I never communicated that, and they were expecting this. So maybe something was really working for one partner, but it didn't work for another partner. This is one of the keys in this first line. We see the tarot card reversed. We see in the upright situation, everybody's falling off. Oh my gosh, we just had this Notre Dame kind of like burning and collapsing, right? And as you can see, sometimes the power of that is unstoppable. Something really goes wrong, and anybody is stuck in there. It doesn't matter who you are. You are kind of like part of that collapse, right? But when this kind of like reverses, it kind of like suggests that you're like undergoing a significant personal transformation, possibly upheaval. It's kind of like it's different from experience like here in the upright, where that change is external, right? And it almost like sometimes even feels that changes is forced upon you, right? But with reversed, maybe you're the one instigating the change and possibly even calling into questions your fundamental belief systems. Maybe you have been a loyal wife, loyal girlfriend, loyal boyfriend, and maybe you're realizing, well, I just have done that because, hey, I like the fact that this other person was kind of like putting me on a pedestal. But then you're realizing, well, wait a minute, like this whole relationship didn't have guts, in spite of this person being very poetic and interesting and everything, right? It had lots of airy elements, which kind of tells me it was more or less in a la la land kind of a thing, or it was moving very fast, and maybe you're stepping on the brakes. Now, this also sometimes when it's reversed tells me that person is completely clueless about things that are going on around them. Kind of like going on their merry ways and everything is collapsing around them and they're not looking for shelter. Or in possibly more dramatic cases, maybe this is going through an existential crisis, or like you call it middle-age crisis kind of a thing, right? And seriously kind of questioning, why in the world am I going through that? Why am I doing this? So certainly it's telling me that there is like some kind of like unsettling time, but you need to trust the process over here, and like you need to know it's for the best, right? It's kind of creating some kind of like change and transformation over here, and don't delay the necessary destruction. This simply can mean, okay, this conversation has to happen. Look, I mean, for example, when I was like on the market, when you start dating, and I absolutely hate online dating. I just don't even get me going on this awkward way of dating, especially in North America, where you're not even exclusive until you have a talk. I cannot really date people if they want to date other people. I simply kind of like have this walls block and everything. But some people can do it, and maybe this is a better way to do it. To me, it's better. I mean, of course, I'm Aquarius. To me, it has to happen more organically, more as friends, and then let's see where this kind of like goes, right? But in this kind of like online dating, when I would get these emails and then people would shower you with praise and with things and everything, and you're going, sometimes even expressing feelings and emotions, and they don't even know you, and you go like, what's wrong with you, dude? Are you okay? You know, and then you're realizing that kind of like building those kind of like house of cards, those are all illusions. And I'm wondering if you had illusions because somebody was like very charming over here. I can see this in life, right? But maybe, you wanted to go with the flow. You kind of like found this person very interesting, and looks like the person was interesting. Looks like the person was having quite a few of things, but there were like some essentials over here which are really important to you. They might be perfect in terms of what you see on television and movies, but did they really work for you, right? It's kind of like almost like it looks like they belong to one belief system, you belong to another belief system. Maybe you are a hardworking person who works long hours, and you're dealing with an artist or a musician, somebody who wants to be a big pop star, who have no, 2 dimes to rub on, right? And now you're thinking, well, this is all great, but while you're getting there, you still need to earn an income, and that's really important for you as basically earth sign, right? So don't resist changes. It's kind of like there is like a need for some kind of destruction. It's like, think about this you're wearing layers when we are going in the winter because it kind of keeps you warmer, insulated, but now you're shedding them because kind of like you're realizing, okay, like right now I need to be really, really light. And you need to know that if you continue resisting change, it's only going to force its way in your life even more. And this is part of growth and transformation. Like sometimes, like, I mean, this growth and transformation just didn't show up from nowhere. You have been going through this death phase, like probably the relationship stopped. And the death phase is saying the transformation is needed. And that's kind of like allowing you to kind of like figure it out on your own. When you get to the tower stage, it's kind of like karmic intervention, if you really think about it, right? And you know, you need to tune into your intuition. This is clearly asking for it, right? So this is really important. And if you feel that something big is about to happen, then you can plan ahead in order to avoid possible destruction that kind of lies ahead. Because we also have here is like that aha moment. Aha. Oh my goodness, this is what happened. And it's kind of like telling you, well, you know, there are like so many elements here, but how about those essentials? Kind of like the basement. Is my basement properly built of this relationship? Is this going to hold the problems in the first floor, second floor, third floor? The Knight of Pentacles in this category worries me, because to me, Knight of Pentacles is ultimate friend. Ultimately people who have big, broad shoulders that you can rely upon. And now this needs to be fixed. So this person looks good in theory, but probably not good in practice. So let's see what else I can see. Why is the Queen of Pentacles here showing up? And Queen of Cups. Oh, we have too many queens over here. This person, and there it is, that stage. It's arriving again, and it's coming here in the karma segment. It is again telling you that, you know, it almost looks like that you need to take not one step back, but 3 steps back, 4 steps back, something like that. It could be that you have been even married to this person, or there's like something really important over here. It could be that another person is coming in between the two of you, or simply that you are feeling, well, you know, I'm actually really not in love with this person. And I'm also not feeling that this person would be good in anything long term. So you're getting to the conclusion somebody is in your life for a reason, season, or for a lifetime. And so you kind of like stretch out lifetime. And in your case, even scratch the reason. Because it's almost like not about this other person. It's almost like here it's all about you. See the emergency? That kind of like also suggests the tower of a certain kind. This is definitely telling me that there is like some huge clarity that is arriving for both of you. It is kind of like really important to push it forward. The Death card is also relative to the Emperor card, which kind of like the two of them would make it a pair. But I really think that maybe that light stage of a relationship, or kind of like that foolish or overly, you know, everything is possible, you're kind of like leaving that kind of like in the past. It's really interesting because I quoted Victor Hugo in the beginning of this video, and it was from Les Miserables. But what is coming here is like this lost illusions, like the other book, right? Where, you know, you kind of like go through life, and I think it's that story about this beautiful woman, I forgot her name, who's so beautiful and everybody really wants to be around her, but she's very poor. And I don't really remember what the plot was. Was it that she had to kind of like take care of her child or something? That she started to kind of cut her hair to sell it, and her teeth and stuff, and all of a sudden she had nothing anymore, right? And that's where the lost illusions are, when the reality started to kick in. I'm not painting this picture here for you that that's what's happening to you, but I'm just saying that each of us have that kind of like things that sort of like redirect us in life. Queen of Cups also can mean kind of like finally kind of like understanding your emotions, because interestingly enough, finally something with somebody with a big cup is arriving, because everything else was sort of like a thought and a vision, an illusion, almost like You like hearing things, but hearing would never, and saying, talk would never turn into the action. Queen of Cups, it almost looks like that finally it's that meeting of the minds, both of you coming to the same page. And this partner looks like it's really, really good in bed. But this is a card of victory, so that's kind of like a little confusing why this is over here. We are going to see that when I put it third row. But this is clearly saying, you know, the Death card, it's again asking you to reinvent, transform yourself, that something has to stop. Like, this keeps repeating. And the question here is like, what kind of world do you want to live in? What kind of partner do you want? And if this partner is made of the burlap, can you make a silk gown out of it? You really need to ask yourself, because, oh my God, I know women and men who spend lives trying to change their partner. This is who they are. You have to ask yourself if you can live with that. If not, which you can't, and you basically, it looks like it is a third party here. It's not just like I'm in different facets of you. It's a third party, and it could be that they are married to somebody else, or that you're married to them, because this is really talking about the entire family has been kind of like pulled in different directions. There is like complete lack of happiness. Look at this 9s and 10s and 1 over here. And now we have this King of Cups. So it's almost like that you're putting your foot down and you're saying, you know, this has to happen or else. And this is kind of like left to the universe to see what happens. You're asking this partner to become this King of Cups, like this wonderful person who also has this emotions pulled in. It looks like this person is like very much like either an air sign or definitely behaving like an air sign, or maybe even an airhead, right? Everything is like fun, everything is celebration. This is all great when you're dating, but at one point you need to kind of like really kind of like roll up your sleeves and start like living your life. There is a possibility, clearly, this person is like very interested in you sexually. That is clear over here. And this person also suffers from the syndrome, I don't want to be alone. And that could be a part of the problem, because when you have a person like that, the moment when you have even kind of like a smell of trouble, they're crying, they're playing victim to somebody else. And then you have lots of women who like probably you and me have been raised to be sweet and conforming and oh, you poor thing, and they're led astray by this person who is not really frank with them. Oh, my wife, oh, my girlfriend, she's like so bad, and she did this to me, and blah blah blah, and I'm trying so hard, right? You can hear that story. And then and almost like a person becomes hardened on that. It's kind of like really hard to believe everybody's going through that, and then almost looks like we're going through this life with a whole bunch of like injured people walking around. But the true person who's injured is you, because look at these trees. We have like 3 trees over here, and this is like about a third party and creativity and about the birth of something else. But this birth is being stopped over here, right? It's a 13, which also contains this 3 inside, right? So how can it be that you're like bawling your eyes out while they're celebrating? What's wrong with this freaking picture? And then there's 2 9s, one on their side, one on one. Like, you are not happy because this person is not living up to the expectation, and they're just like the leaf in the wind. Whatever happens. There is like a complete lack of maturity over here in the situation, and it's somebody who just doesn't get it. Yeah, this person is fun, but is this person meant to be for you? You really need to ask yourself. You do have a possibility to be with this person, but not this King of Cups that you expect that would make you happy. They're offering very little, and they're usually kind of like coming out and coming back into their own shell, and that's kind of like really difficult for you to kind of like figure out and deal with. So Capricorn, I would like to know who the hell is this partner, and why in the world you as an earth sign didn't say F you Like, we air signs, we have no problem saying that. So what would it take? I really want to know. Tell me about it. This might not be your situation, but if even a little bit of this resonated, this means that messages have been directed to you. So I invite you to subscribe and click on this bell. So the bell is going to invite you to my live readings. But if you really want your own reading, this is still on the special for $50, and you can kind of like check it and book it via cattarot.ca, or contact me in the description box. You have all possible means and ways, Instagram, Facebook, blah blah blah, to kind of like reach me. And so Capricorn, can't wait to hear your comments, can't wait to see you on live, and you know that I love you, and let's see how this situation evolves in the reading next month. Love you.